Hi everyone! For a long time, people have been asking me to share my builds, and I decided to put together 3 builds that are very straightforward, and you can probably solo the entire game. I have used some of these builds to solo the entire game using those builds. So if your objective is simply to complete honor mode, you have a party with 3 people using these builds, you should have no problem whatsoever. And I try to make it simple as possible, and I also give you a few options. So if you miss some of the items, you can try to adapt your characters to something very close to optimal. And I hope you guys enjoy it. If you like it, please remember to like and subscribe the video. It would make me really happy. Let's go. Before we get into the builds, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Enotria, The Last Song. Enotria is a beautiful upcoming Souls-like game that's based on stories from Italian folklore. The environments and scenery are just so gorgeous. I literally never get tired of looking at them. I am really looking forward to seeing more about this game as we get closer to release. You can pre-order the game now on the Epic Games Store using the link in the description. But the game will also be releasing on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. If you guys are fans of the Souls-like genre, you definitely want to keep an eye on this game. So stay tuned for more. Okay, so we'll start with my favorite build in the entire game, Barbarian. I love Barbarian. I have the soul of a barbarian trapped in the body of a tiny girl. It's awful. So, Barbarian, you get to throw everything. You can throw enemies at each other. You can throw your weapon at enemies. You can throw everything. The world is ours. You can throw enemies off cliffs. You just can make a mess. Barbarian is also the class that has, in my opinion, the funniest dialogue and the funniest things that you can do in dialogue. So Barbarian is just excellent. Also, this build is the build that is active the fastest of the ones that I'm showing tonight. So at level 4, you already have your build. All you need is level 4. And you need to go to the goblin camp, get the returning pike, and you're set. Even before that, you can throw most weapons. Just make sure that the weapons you're throwing has thrown in their toe tip on the bottom, because if it's not, it does less damage. Also, you can go up higher in cliffs and you can throw weapons from above, and the game has a gravity modifier, so you do even more damage when you're from higher up. If you're playing a throw barbarian and want to maximize for damage, you can play as a Githyanki, because then you get the jump that allows you to jump super high up, and then you get to the sky high, and then you throw your weapons from above. So Githyanki throw barbarian is probably the best throw barbarian out there. But any other race also works. The build by itself is extremely strong. You're extremely strong at level 4. You don't have to worry about missing enemies. It's just amazing. Did you guys know that the first class in the list is Barbarian because it's the best one? Also because I said so. Anyways, your stats should be 16 dex, because your glove slots are very important. So we can't use the dexterity gloves. Your con, your armor scales with con. So con is also very important. We'll get you 18 at level 4. Charisma 14, because I like the barbarian dialogue. However, if you're starting off the tutorial, you can simply do this. You start with 14 strength, and once you get to the Druid's Grove, you talk to the Auntie Ito, the hag, spoiler, and you buy 3 strength potions from her every day, and you will have an infinite supply of these. Once that happens and you get Withers, you can just swap strength for charisma, and it's all set. Your skills, athletics is fine, because you can push and jump better, and throw, I think. It also helps with throw. And perception is good, but if you want intimidation, it's up to you. Level 2 Barbarian, you get danger senses like Spider-Man. You also get reckless attack. Well, the heart is cute because you can speak with animals, but Berserker is the best because now you can get angry and you can throw things when you're angry with your bonus action. So you can throw with your main action and you keep throwing with your bonus action. And the throw with your bonus action is actually even better. And you can also attack if you don't want to throw, but you should always throw because throwing's fun. And now, for our first feat, Tavern Brawler, of course. 18 con, and there we go. You are ready, the strongest. You can throw the world at another world and be happy. But then at level 5, you become even stronger because now you can throw twice per turn and 1 extra time as your bonus. So you're already throwing 3 things per turn at level 5. It's sick. Also, you get this. Your movement speed is increased while not wearing heavy armor. Great, perfect. Because we're barbarians. We're basically naked in our undies. And we're still very freaking strong. At level 6, sadly, we'll leave Barbarian and go get one of the lesser classes. You can either pick Fighter or Rogue right now. It's personal preference. It doesn't matter. I will go with Fighter because I'm feeling like it. We'll pick Defense here, but none of these are actually going to do anything for us. So, Fighter, level 2, we'll get Action Surge. That means now, at level 7, you can throw 2 more times per short rest. So you throw many times. Level 8, we are going to multi-class again. We are going to go Rogue. And now you can also rob NPCs with your Barbarian, but I would like having Athletics. I really like that. And I also like having Acrobatics. And I really like that. So this is what I would personally do, but you can pick whatever you want here. Oh, Shadowheart disappeared. That's funny. Okay, so Rogue level 9. We'll get this. Where did she go? Oh my goodness. We will go to Rogue until we get Thief, because now you have an extra bonus action, which allows you to throw with a bonus action again. And that's pretty cool. Oh, hey, level 11 and Shadowheart is back. Welcome back, Shadowheart. Okay, so here, it's best if we take another level into Rogue because we gain a feat. And with a feat, we can get to 20 con, which gives us more armor and more health. And now, we are going to go out of Rogue. You can either level up Fighter or you can level up Barbarian. Barbarian is nice because you get 1 extra rage charge. And also you cannot get charmed or frightened. But if for some reason your returning pike disappeared or you don't have a returning weapon, you can go Battlemaster, Eldritch Knight, and then you can link your weapon. And then whenever you throw any random weapon, like if you want to link the Orphic Hammer to your Barbarian, to throw it to Orpheus' head to save him, you can do it. And then any weapon you want, you'll be able to throw it and it will return to your hands. But if you have that, which you should, I personally would go with Barbarian for this Rage Prolonged Rest. For the items, the essential ones are the Gloves of Kushigo. It adds to your throwing damage. The Ring of Flinging. It also adds to your throwing damage. My editor will put on screen right now. I don't have the item because I accidentally murdered everybody in the Druid Grove. Essential weapons. Early game, the Returning Pike you get from the Goblin Camp. And end game, Neiruna. Neiruna gives you 3 meters of movement speed. That's excellent. And also an AoE of thunder damage. You can also use it with a shield. So it's even better because it increases your AC. The other items, they are just generic good items. If you don't have them, you can replace them with most things. However, the Horns of the Berserker, in my opinion, are the best Barbarian helmet. Generic good cloak, Cloak of Protection. Grace of Cloth is excellent because gives you 2 to dexterity, which increases your initiative so you can act before and kill everybody before they act. I'm also using the Boots of Speed, but if you have the evasive shoes from Act 2, those are better because they give you extra AC. I have the Fey Semblance Amulet. It gives you advantage on saving throws, but if you have anything else you would rather use, that works. Crush's Ring, movement speed is always welcome. For your chest armor, you can also use as an option the Bone Spike Carb. It gives you 15 HP each time you rage, 15 temporary HP. For your consumables, you will always want to have either an Elixir of Hill Giant Strength or an Elixir of Cloud Giant Strength. The first one, you can buy 3 per day per long rest at the Hag in the Auntie Ito in the Druid Grove. The Cloud Giant, if you're lucky and you look for the crafting materials, you can craft them even in Act 1 and Act 2, but it's very hard. In Act 3, they will be in every corner. So those are probably the ones you'll be using in Act 3. The next build we'll be looking at is Tavern Brawler Monk. It's a very powerful build because you're not only able to stun enemies, but you do so much damage and your character feels so strong because you have high AC, and it's just an amazing build. My first solo in the game was using this build. I soloed the entire game on Tactician mode only using this build, so highly recommend it, and also very simple to use. For this next build, we'll be doing Open Hand Monk. Our stats, even though this is a strength build, we are going to be using elixirs, so minimum as possible. Constitution, it's an odd number because we'll get +1 from Tavern Brawler. Wisdom, we will get +1 from the Hag. And Charisma, high as possible with the rest, so you can do the dialogues well enough. Our skill proficiencies, we have Athletics and Acrobatics because those are the best ones, so you can shove and jump a little bit better. Leveling up Monk is very simple, so we're not going to pick many things. At level 2, the most important things that you unlock is Disengage and Dash as a bonus action. And you can also, as long as you're not wearing armor, you can gain 3 extra meters of movement speed. Level 3 will make our first choice. That's we're gonna change to Way of the Open Hand. For this build, your bonus action is your main source of damage. You have 3 ways to attack your enemies. You can either prone them, or stagger, or push them. Level 4, the most important thing is getting Tavern Brawler and adding 1 to your Constitution. Level 5, that was a fun level. You get an extra attack, and you also unlock Stunning Strike, which allows you to stun the enemies with your action. At level 6, your punches become magical punches. You also unlock Manifestation of Body, Mind, and Soul, which add your Wisdom modifier to your damage, and you can also select the type of damage that it does. So depending on where you're fighting, you might want to change the damage type. You also get Wholeness of Body, which gives you healing and restores half of your key points. Every monk bonus action, special action that you use uses a key point, so those are very nice to have. At level 7, instead of getting level 7 with Monk, we'll multi-class into Fighter. Fighting style doesn't really matter much, but we'll pick Defense because it can give you some little extra bonus depending on the gear you pick later on. Fighter level 2, you gain Action Surge, which once per rest, you gain an extra action. Once we get to level 9, we'll multi-class again into Rogue. You can change your skill proficiencies. If you're not planning on using your Monk to steal, you can get extra Athletics for better jumps and pushes. Level 2, we don't need to change anything. In level 3, we want to get Teeth. Since Monk, your damage comes mostly from the bonus action, Teeth gives you a second bonus action, and that's incredibly powerful. Our final level can be of Rogue, so we can increase our stats. You will want to add 2 points to Wisdom, since part of your damage scales from Wisdom. We definitely want that. Right now it says 19, but with the Hag hair, you'll be at 20 Wisdom at this point. let's go over the items. The essential items for this build are 2. The Gloves of Soul Catching, because they add a 1d10, plus gives you plus Shukon, and you can even use the souls that you catch from the enemies to heal yourself if you need. Also, the Boots of Kushigo, because they add another wisdom modifier to your unarmed attacks, which makes you even stronger. The other items that I'm using, they're just generic good items that can be shared with other builds and other characters, like the Mask of Soul Perception, the Cloak of Protection, the Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, the Amulet of Greater Health, the Ring of Free Action, and the Caustic Brand. For early game items, you have the Graceful Cloak and the Gloves of Cinder Sizzle. You also have the choice to use Heavy Armor for this build. You will lose 3 meters of movement speed and you will gain up to 26 AC if you decide to do that. There is no better or worse, it's all about personal preference. The most important thing for this build are those 2 potions. You should always have either an Elixir of Hill Giant Strength or an Elixir of Cloud Giant Strength to bump your strength. So let's remove this amulet for now. Your stats with the potions should look more or less like this, considering you have the Hag's Hair and 1 Astrakhan from the Tavern Brawler, the 2 points that we added to Wisdom, and the Strength, the base is 8, but since I'm using a potion, it's up, and that allows our attacks to be super strong, and you're gonna be unbeatable. And then you get your golden dice, and you will show it to me. This next build will be Battlemaster Fighter. It's one of my favorite builds because it's very simple and very, very strong. You will attack 1 billion times per turn, you will do a lot of damage, and you're going to be unstoppable. Like, for example, when I was doing my first honor mode, Lazo, just by herself, using this build, did 400 damage to the brain in 1 turn. So, it's crazy. I hope you guys like it. First, of course, Fighter. Second, we'll pick a great weapon fighting. It's excellent. So whenever you roll 1 or 2 damage die for an attack, you will just reroll that. So your odds of hitting higher damage numbers are a little bit higher. For your stats, very straightforward. There is 1 extra point that you can add anywhere, but personally, I think Wisdom, since there are some wisdom saves in the game, gives you the most benefit for the extra point, but it doesn't really matter much. Is skills proficiencies. If you're not using your fighter as your main character to do dialogue, athletics, acrobatics are always nice to have. Level 2 fighter. You get action surge, which is really good. Second best level fighter. Fighter level 3. We'll go with Battlemaster, but the other subclasses are also good. Let's pick our maneuvers. Since the objective here is to level fighter all the way to 12, so you're going to unlock most of these. So the order that you pick doesn't really matter much, but I personally really like Riposte, gives you an extra turn outside of your turn. I really like Precision Attack, because if your chances to hit are low, you can use a dice to increase that, and Pushing Attack is also really good. So let's start with those 3. Level 4. We'll get our first feat. A lot of people would go directly and get Great Weapon Master, but I don't think at this level is wise to do because your chance to hit is very low, so it's going to get frustrating. Instead of going for a Brilliant Improvement, because also we would need 2 points and we only need 1 strength, we'll take Athlete and get 1 more in strength. The next opportunity that we get, we'll get Great Weapon Fighter, because then it will be less frustrating because your character will have a higher chance to hit. Level 5, the most fun level, get an extra attack. Level 6, we'll get the Great Weapon Master, and hopefully our chance to hit is a little bit better now. Level 7, 2 other maneuvers. Trip attack is nice, because prone sometimes even gets some enemies to skip their turn, and menacing attack, so they can't run away from you. It's also really good. Level 8, we'll get another feat. For this feat, I think we should just take strength because 20 increases our chance to hit is just really good. Stats are always welcome. Level 9 is not very special. Level 10, you gain another die, which is always really good. And we can get another 2 maneuvers, which gets kind of funny because I think we kind of got the best ones already. So sweeping attack is always nice. A little AoE and a rally. If any of your teammates go down, you can even bring them up by using this. So that's cool. And here's my favorite level of fighter. You get another attack per turn. Fighter is the best class in this game when it comes to level because usually the other classes, they get their special thing later down the road, but Fighter gets that level 11. And since Baldur's Gate level cap is 12, Fighter is just really strong because of that. Now our last level, we get another feat. Let's get Savage Attacker. I think it's really, really good because it gives you extra die when you're rolling for damage and it takes the highest damage. And overall, it makes that you hit for higher numbers and it's significant. So this is a great trait. Okay, so items for this fighter build. Most important items. Gloves of Dexterity. But the build still kind of works without, but you're just going to act last every turn, and that's not really good. The Boots of Speed, because you don't really use your bonus actions for anything, so if you need to dash, if you need to reach your opponent, you can use a dash as a bonus action. This Baldurian Greatsword. You need to kill Answer to get it, but it's definitely worth it, because it's so powerful. It basically adds another strength modifier to the entire build and makes you do an insane amount of damage. So it's very good. You can also use Giant Form for a little bit of extra damage. And another essential item for this is the Risky Ring, because Great Weapon Master makes your character miss more often. With Risky Ring, it offsets that because you have advantage. So it evens your odds so you can hit more often. So it's very, very important to put the Risky Ring here. There's also some other options. I'm using some regular good items, like I showed you guys before in my build. The ideal armor is actually the armor you get from Daemon in Act 3. But I'll ask my editor to put the armor in the screen right now, but I don't have this armor in the save file. So that armor is the best one. And also, the Amulet of Greater Health is good, and the Crusher Ring. However, if you're using those other items somewhere else, another good choice to use for Realm is the Realm of Baldur. And you can also use the Amulet of the Harpers, because Shield is always useful to have. And if you don't have that one, if you have the Broodmother's Revenge, you can combo this with the Ring of Regeneration. So every turn, you will get healed. And every turn that you're healed, you get on a 1d6 poison to your weapon. So you're even stronger with this combo. But you lose, of course, the con. But the build is still functional even without the bump of con and everything else. You can also use Killer Sweetheart if you want to absolutely crit. But remember, you should never replace the Risky Ring. Replace either the Crusher Ring or whatever other ring, because the Risky Ring allows you to hit a lot more times than you would miss with this build. You don't actually need to use a potion of Cloud Giant Strength or Heal Giant Strength, because by default you already have 20 strength with this build. But if you're fighting something and you have this extra potion, why not? So feel free. Or if you want an extra attack, you can also use an Elixir of Bloodlust, especially if you know that for sure you will kill more than one in one turn. So those are your other options. I hope you guys liked it. And if there's any questions, you can always come on my Twitch channel. I'm happy to respond, or you can post down in the comments. If you guys, again, like videos like this, please let me know. So there's already a few builds that are a little bit more complex that I could share with you guys. So just let me know. And have fun!